Hi, in this video, I would like to look at how we go about factorizing quadratic expressions with brackets. In earlier grades, you have been given equations with variables and asked to substitute a value into the equation to solve. For example, you may have been given 2p plus 3, where p is equal to 3. Now, to solve this, we substitute 3 into the p values, and we get 2 multiplied by 3 plus 3 plus 3 again. 2 multiplied by 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 3 is 12. And you solve and get an answer of 12. Substitution can be used to simplify intricate expressions and equations in order to make it easier for us to solve. Let's look at an example. Factorize the following: a minus 2 squared minus 4a minus 2 minus 5. Please remember that we cannot take out a bracket as a common factor because there's no bracket in the third term. Here we can see that in the first term, the bracket is squared. In the second term, there is no exponent, which means there's actually an exponent of 1. 2 is double 1, so we are working with a quadratic. So how do we factorize a quadratic with a bracket? We use substitution. In the past, we've been working with a lot of examples where x is the variable. So let's change the bracket a minus 2 to the variable x. To do this, we say let a minus 2 be x. Now we can substitute x into the positions of the brackets in the expression up here. So here we have a minus 2. So we're going to say x squared minus 4a minus 2, which becomes minus 4x, and the constant minus 5. Now we can factorize this expression. Let's put in our x value. The coefficient of x squared is 1, and the constant is negative 5. So we can say 1 multiplied by negative 5, which is simply negative 5. Let's put this up here. The coefficient of the middle term is negative 4. So over here, I'm going to put in negative 4. Now I need to find the factors of negative 5 that when added together give me negative 4. 5 is negative, so one factor will be negative as well. 4 is negative, which means the larger factor will be negative. Let's look at the factors of negative 5. We have 1 and negative 5, which gives us negative 4. So we know that the factors we need to consider are 1 and negative 5. The coefficient of x squared is 1, so we divide each factor by 1. Now we can fill in our brackets, and we're going to have 1x, which is simply x, plus 1, and 1x, which is simply x again, minus 5. But please remember, we are not factorizing for x. We are factorizing for a minus 2. So let's clean this up a little bit. To factorize for a minus 2, we're going to substitute a minus 2 back into the bracket in the x value. So here we have x in the first bracket. So we're going to say a minus 2. We add 1, so we say plus 1. In the second bracket, we have x. So we're going to write a minus 2 minus 5 over here. Now we can tidy these up. In the first bracket, we have a. So we have a over here. Negative 2 plus 1 becomes negative 1. So we have a minus 1. In the second bracket, we have a over here. Negative 2 minus 5 gives us negative 7. And we've now factorized this expression up here. Let's do one more example. Factorize the following expression: x plus 3 squared minus 3x plus 3 minus 4. In this case, instead of using the bracket x plus 3, let's use the variable b. So we can say, let x plus 3 be b. So now, instead of writing the bracket x plus 3, we simply write b. Here we have x plus 3 squared, so we have b squared. Here we have negative 3x plus 3, which becomes negative 3b, and then the constant negative 4. And now we can factorize this expression over here. Let's put in our x. The coefficient of b squared is 1, and we have a constant of negative 4. 1 multiplied by negative 4 gives us negative 4, so we can put this in up here. The coefficient of the middle term is negative 3, so I can put negative 3 over here. Now I need to find factors that give me negative 4, but when added together, give me negative 3. 4 is negative, so one factor will be negative. 3 is negative, which means the larger factor will be negative. So if we say negative 4 divided by 1 gives us negative 4, 1 minus 4 gives me negative 3. So the factors I'm looking at are 1 and negative 4. The coefficient of b squared is 1, so I can divide both factors by 1. Now I can fill in my bracket. The first fraction is 1 over 1, so I have 1b, which is simply b, plus 1. And the second fraction is negative 4 over 1, which becomes 1b, which is simply b, minus 4. And I've now factorized this expression over here. But remember, I don't want to factorize this expression. I want to factorize this one up here. So we need to substitute x plus 3 back into our b value over here. Let's tidy this up. Now our first bracket, we have b plus 1. So in the first bracket, instead of b, we're going to have x plus 3 plus 1. So we add 1. In the second bracket, we have b. So we're going to have x plus 3. And then we minus 4. So we minus 4 over here. Now we can tidy these brackets up a little bit. We have x, so we can put x in over here. 3 plus 1 gives us 4, so we say plus 4. The second bracket, we have x over here. 3 minus 4 gives us negative 1, so we say minus 1. And we've now factorized this expression up here. We will look at more examples like this in upcoming videos.